There's a podcast episode I've done where I spoke about your current disadvantages are going to be the biggest advantage later on in life. I know a lot of people when I was young, and I can openly, truly, wholeheartedly admit, and I felt how unfair it is that they had, for example, more money or a better family home, because I left my family home when I was like 14, 15, ran away because it was just really toxic. So I've been standing on my own 2 feet since a very young age, learned a lot of lessons. And I remember, of course, comparing myself because I was still a kid, thinking they had a head start in life. Why did God decide to give some people head starts and some people have it hard? These people now, as time go by, are also facing their own challenges. And you shouldn't compare yourself, and I'm saying this with love, but I sometimes look at people I, as a kid, compared myself to. I'm not talking about money or success right now. I'm talking about psychological growth and differences. And I remember when I thought back in the day, oh my God, I wish I had their life. I wish I had their money, and I wish I had their mental health, and I wish I had their family, because maybe I would have been better off in life if I would have had more support also from my family, just a loving home and all of these things. But now look at these people I was comparing myself to, who I thought had a head start, who now are facing struggles mentally or psychologically, emotionally, maybe even physically, that I faced 20 years ago, 30 years ago. So you, or in that case, I, even though I had setbacks at the time, I had the head start. Does that make sense? So when you compare yourself to people who are more successful than you, or look prettier, or have maybe not had a breakup, who are executing their career, who are pivoting, who are, the entire opposite to you at the moment, and you think, oh my God, I'm so far behind, and they're having a head start, you compare yourself. It's not true, because they're also facing their own battles. And I'm going to be realistic with you, because I don't like the whole everybody has their own problems. Yes, it's true to a degree, but there are some people who are just genuinely lucky. There are people that are just genuinely a little bit better off and privileged, and that's that, and they're more advantaged or whatever. But they're not protected from things that life would throw at them unexpectedly, like getting sick, incredibly sick, losing their good mental health, losing someone they love, death, grief, traumatic things that could happen every single day to them. If you face struggles, setbacks early on in life, you build the psychological, mental discipline and resilience to then almost become potent to other hardship later on in life. What do I mean by this? You're currently facing things that make you feel maybe hurt, angry, it's unfair, maybe you're even grieving. When you grieve now, it's the same emotion, right, as when you grieve in 20 years. Do you follow me? So it's not going to expand much further. Obviously, there's different levels of emotions, okay? There's a spectrum to everything. But if you're currently learning the lesson and being impacted so heavy psychologically in a negative way, you become stronger, okay? So, of course, it sounds cheesy, everything happens for a reason, but I truly think this will make you more potent, more competent, more confident in the long run. But only, and this is the key, it will only make you more confident and happier and more successful if you believe it does. If you don't believe that whatever bullshit, excuse my language, you're currently facing will make you better long term, in the long run, even though you can't see it right now, it won't happen. Because like attracts like. If you settle for what you're currently going through and you give up on yourself mentally and emotionally, and you settle for these negative circumstances because you dig yourself into a hole thinking this is so unfair and everybody's better off, you will not get out of this hole. No one can save you but yourself.